At that point, I know what you're referring to. I did an interview and I talked about being kicked out of choir in high school. Everyone to have their seatbelts securely fastened.
We do, and almost the same colors, ¿verdad?
Fine. And we both have boobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ponytail.
Hey, ponytail también. No. Okay, I'm creeping out. I was actually reading your Instagram and your stories, and I was like, she has so much personality. You are out of this world.
I do. I'm out there.
So I heard that you discovered that you wanted to be an actress while singing gospel choir.
At that point, I know what you're referring to. I did an interview and I talked about being kicked out of choir in high school because I pretended to be possessed by a demon on stage, and then I got kicked out of choir. Funny enough, as if that weren't a telling moment, I didn't know that I wanted to be an actress then. I've always been a class clown, even to my detriment. I've always, I wouldn't even say I always like being the center of attention, but I'm so easily bored that I think I always wanted to just keep myself entertained.
Okay.
But no, acting was something that just kind of happened. It was not something I was seeking. I was looking to work in comedy, but acting is like the weirdest happy accident of my life.
Right, because you're so much into like climate change and things that change the world, and I'm like, acting, people could think it's a little more superficial, right? That's the mentality.
At times, I mean, even when I first started, my manager approached me and said, "You should be an actress," and I was like, I don't want to do that. Not that I didn't respect actors. I mean, obviously there are, I think of actors like from England who are trained, who take it seriously and it's their life's work. And I just didn't feel like there was a place for me. And then it happened. I will say that being an actress is definitely a part of my personality, but it's not the sole driver. I have many interests. I have interests in climate. I have interests in front of and behind the camera. I got a journalism degree because I have interests outside of myself. I like doing what you're doing. I used to do radio journalism and interviews. So I'm a very curious person, I would say.
Yeah, I saw a little video too that you were doing like a very fun clip doing interviews, but the fun way. Yeah. So what would you ask Gerard Butler now that you're telling me that you would like to, that you study journalism? Did you get to ask him questions that you were always interested of knowing?
Oh, yeah, I got to ask Jerry. Jerry's an open book, and he's very, sometimes like when you meet a star who's kind of internationally known and on his level, sometimes rightfully so, they're very close to the chest. But Jerry's the opposite. Jerry's very giving, and he's one of the least pretentious movie stars I've ever met in my life. Like anyone can talk to Jerry and he wants to talk to everybody. I think the question I would ask Jerry is, what I would ask of him, he's done all of these action films, right? And he's got a huge track record. He's also, though, this incredibly talented actor. And I would say, you've established yourself in the action world. I would love Jerry to, I don't know, I would be interested to see kind of where he would want to go over the course of the next 10 years, because he is so talented. I feel like he could do, major drama. I also know he's funny as hell and he could kill a comedy.
Oh, he is. So you discovered that from him?
Yes.
While working.
It's so weird. He's one of the funniest people and he doesn't do enough comedies. And I don't understand. He's so talented. He's funny.
So, háblame un poquito de eso, like, ¿dónde filmaron las locaciones? And, y tu nacionalidad? Because I know you're Mexican, but you're mixed, but you also look a little bit Asian.
Yeah.
That blood test, the anthropology test? Have you discovered what you have?
So I did 23andMe, and so my family is, I'm actually Mexican American on both sides, and I'm third generation on both sides. The one commonality is that both sides of my family fled Mexico during the revolution. That's something that's common with both sides of my family. My one side is heavily from Oakland, and the other side moved to Santa Paula, which is a small town outside of LA. But I feel like I'm kind of in a weird zone because I'm not from Mexico. You know, remember that scene where Edward James Olmos is with Jennifer Lopez and he's like, we're not Mexican enough and we're not white enough. And then I look Asian. So I feel like identity's always just been a real toss up with me over the years, but I'm way more comfortable with myself, I think, than I used to be.
That's interesting. So, ¿qué descubriste de ti while filming this movie? Because I really like the style of it, and like you're saying, it has that vibe that it's
like a throwback.
And it's los 90s, you know?
Yes.
So it's like that movie that you have to watch in the theaters. Y te entretiene, you never, como que te entretiene todo el momento y nunca esperas. You're like, wait, more? There's more coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, what's so cool about this movie is that what the core element to me that's very much like a 90s movie is the fact that Jerry is an underdog. He's not like the all-knowing, you know, action hero who goes into this situation and knows exactly what to do. You know, he's a regular man who's thrown into these crazy circumstances. And you know, I also feel like you have to be a really good actor to be able to pull that off. You know, it makes it a little more complex, but it kind of reminds me of like those old Harrison Ford movies where he's just this regular guy that's thrown into this situation and he has to figure it out. Like there's just something that is really cool and nostalgic about the vibe of this movie. And those are the movies that I grew up on. So
yeah, me too.
And it was obvious as soon as we started shooting that this was like, there's something, the old school vibe about it.
Daniela, where do you want to go from this? ¿Cuál es tu último sueño? What's your ultimate dream? And what is that you want to change? What's your mission or whatever I don't know. Why is it here?
Yeah, no. Jose, I think it's for me. Okay, in this business, you can never have a plan, right? Life, there's no plan. It's kind of like these things that just keep happening, right? Yeah. And that's definitely been the case with me. I know that I'm capable of a lot. I would love to do a big action comedy. Yes. I love comedy. I got the chops. I can do it. You know, that's a dream of mine. I think more so just, you know, I can do drama. I can do a lot. And it's whether the world and the business will accept me and take me on, you know. I don't know. I'm open for anything. And eventually I hope that just by having more diversity and people like myself, it's that same thing where, you know, 12-year-old me didn't get to have me. 12-year-old me did not get to have me on a screen. 12-year-old me did not see myself on TV. So I hope that there's a little glimmer of hope that I get to, you know, bring for somebody else. But I can do all the same things everybody else can. So I'm just waiting on them.
No, directors have to really pay attention to you because you got a lot to give. Like there's a lot more that we have to know from you. So,
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very talented.
Have purple backgrounds, same color blazers.
Todo. Conectadas. Vamos a conectar en Instagram. Muchas gracias. Cuídate mucho.
Muchas gracias.
Mucho éxitos. And directors, pay attention to Daniella Pineda. She has a lot more to give out there. Gracias.
We're getting off this island.